Hello YouTubers, in the old shop again today. Thought I might show how to make some of my flutes. I make all kind of flutes. I turn some flutes on the lathe, making these little sections, and you get some real nice flutes and can do some real nice inlay and design on them. And I make the natural flutes. This is a Palawania, natural, just reamed out. So they got a nice little sound to them. But those are the natural. These are like from a LIMB, which when you start off, you want to find where your nodes are, slice that baby. Here's what you got inside. Mark your reference line for where your stop's going to be, because the sound's got to come up over and across. Okay, so that's just an example. Here's one that I started on. Now this one here, when you do that, you mark it, put a stop cut to where you won't overcut out your material, and then you start taking material out. Like for this, I use a small gouge for the windpipe. It takes that out nicely, and then use a larger gouge for cleaning out this material. And this is a great straight cut for your stop angle. It'll hold the line really well, the curved knife will. Okay, let's take out a little more of this material where I can show you what's going on. Before I start taking out any more of this material, I did want to show one more thing. When you slice it, or before you slice it, as long as you know where your nodes are, you want to take your pocket knife or whittling knife, start rounding out the mouthpiece a little bit, and then I just take a little planer and smooth me a nice flat place, because you're going to have a wind block like this right here setting, and you need it to be perfectly flat. If you don't do that, you can take a piece of sandpaper and wrap around your piece, and then take the block and sand on the sandpaper, and you'll get the shape to where to lay on it without making this flat place. Okay, so you just want to take your gouge, start slow on these ends. Then got a portion took out. Clean her down and get it as thin as you want your flute. Making sure not to get your glue ends, because you need those to be just like they are when you slice them. I get one so far, get my other end. First you want to work this bottom to where you can see how your holes coming along there. Follow that pith groove first, get it out. Okay, I'm going to continue this until I get both of these edges together. Okay, so I've got some more out of here, and I always work from the end so you can see what's going on. See, we're starting to get her opened up now. I can tell I need just a little more out of here and a little off that top. Get the very end first. Now we're talking. Now a little off this top end. It's best to work the end, that way you can tell how you're going to join up there and how much you want out of the rest of your flute. Take some out of the center. Work up on both sides, center. Work up on both sides. Now see what we got. So now I can go through and bring the rest of this down to here on both of these, and we'll be ready for the next step. Okay, here's what we have now. We got our two ends cut thin. Put them together. Here's what we're looking at. On this end, I have that size blow hole. Okay, so now this is the top part of the flute. Right here is your stop block. So we want to drill down in this end, the blow end, down to where it will cross at an angle this stop block. Come out right in here. Then we'll have another hole here that will be the splitting edge, they call it. So it'd be a hole here, hole here. We'll put a little wind passage right there for the wind to go through, and then we'll just like our holes in the actual flute. And there's a couple things here. You want to be at least 4 inches down from your stop block, or it's not going to make good sound. And then you want to be at least 3 or 4 inches from the bottom of your flute. So I like mark them. I'll do 3, and then I'll do 2 or 3 according to how many whole flutes you want. And mark where your fingers feel good, and leave a gap in between these 3 and these 2 for the Native American type sounds. Okay, we'll get our drill bit and get to drill it. You'll find the pointing down on your gouge and rocking it when you're trying to hold a groove like that will do a real nice job. Just rock it, slight pressure. Little piece right there on the side. Go ahead and clean that up. There's what we're looking at. Got our stop piece right here. We'll be drilling through this on the top piece, which is this one. Go ahead and clean it out. Get us a real nice smooth wind chamber. That's the bottom. Here's the top. So I'm going to make this just a little bit deeper right here. Okay, looking good. Now I'll get my drill bit. Okay, to rearrange the light here, we wouldn't have a shadow running across here. You can see a little better. Now what I did, took this drill bit right here, and the blow end, put a hole right through there, going right over this stop edge. I'll turn it this way where you can see the hole. See that angle? And that way it comes across. Got a little mark here. There you can see it. And then it comes across the stop piece. Alright, now we're going to get ready to put us a groove down through here to our next hole, which is called the splitting edge, where the actual air goes across it to produce the sound. And I'll show you that angle for this file. See how it's going through there? Okay. And then I'll smooth this out eventually too. Next, I just want to take it, look down it in the center, come down about 1 inch, make my mark. Right there is where we'll drill for the splitting edge hole. And when I do this finger holes, we're taking, you want to be, as a rule of thumb, from the splitting edge about a hand down. your fingers there, which will be just about an inch past where I got a flat spot here. And then I just go, whether it's a 6-finger flute or 5-finger. I just see how it feels good, and that's how I'm going to mark it. And you'll see that's about, the first hole will be about a hand up from the bottom. So I'll get my drill bit ready and drill those. Okay, so now you can see I marked out my holes. Leaving that much on the end. And I did that by getting my 2 fingers here. We'll make a 5-finger flute since it's 19 inches. Most of the time I do them 21 inches. But that way I get 2 fingers that feel good, and it gives you a gap by putting your finger down. And then I mark those like that. And that's how I got my measurements on the fingering holes. So I'll go over to drill press and do that with a 1/4 inch bit. Okay, after the drill press, here's what you got. A hole right here. This is going to be your wind channel right here. Alright, and here's the holes for the finger holes. Alright, so now it's a very important part. Get up here where you can see. We want to trace our wind channel from there to here. And this is going to be oblong. So, and this will be opened up a little. So I'm going to add just a little. Both sides. Right there, I'll take a V-groover now and groove these to have a stop cut. And you can either file it in here, or you can take a small cutting tool and cut it either one. I like to file it after I get my V-grooves cut. So that'll be the next step. Okay, before we cut out our wind slot here, we need to open this up. I use a round file, smooth up that angle and widen it, and oblong this enough to where we can start making a little rectangle right here. And I like to do it where I can use this file. So open that up to that point, and that's how we are here. So that'll be next. But first, on this underside here, you want to mark. We got a V-groove here as a stop point, and take this file and start filing on an angle here. So I'll get on that next. Okay, what I did, here's the underside of this, our rectangular hole. That's called the splitting edge, where the air is going to go across there. So there's where I V-groove marked it. Took this file, get an angle right there. You can tell it's a little deeper at the hole and coming out towards your other sound holes. And up here, there you can see it. That's why I want to do it the size of this file. You just take your time and groove you a wind passage from there over to your splitting edge. So that's what you want to accomplish there. You got us a smooth flowing angle coming in, and then we got us a nice rectangular box shape here to catch the wind as it comes across it. Okay, so now just I'll sand the inside, clean up any of the holes, and I'll be ready to clamp her up, glue it and clamp it. Okay, here's how it should look now after sanding the inside, the holes. Later I'll come along and burn these holes when I tune the flute. But right now, here's how she's supposed to look. Making sure you got your angles on this right, coming here on angle, right here. Square this one to give you a nice big area. Wind groove right there. So now I'll run a bead of glue around both these sides and across, a little bead across the center block there. Should go together just like that. Alright, now glue her up and they're set on that. Okay, here's what we got after gluing it up last night. Clamp it however you can. I always like to start out with a couple rubber bands. It kind of centers it for you. Well, you can tell that's going to be a sweetie. Okay, so we've got her gutted out, our wind slot. We're going to be making a totem or a bird for the top of, to go across this flat spot, and that will be our wind piece. And then we can check and see if there's any tweaking to do on the inside of our splitting edge here. So now it's time to get the pocket knife out. Some flutes I leave the bark on. You can make a pattern in the bark. Just whatever you want to do on these. I do a bunch of burnt designs on some of them, carve some of them. That gets the extra glue off there. You kind of hide your seam a little when you do your final cut and sand there. These are fun to make. Not a bunch of power tools going, anything like that. But anyway, I'll carve away on this baby for a few, and we'll see what we got. Okay, and around the sound holes, steady as she goes, mate. You don't want to scarf the hole. But nice where your fingers can lay in there. Sometimes you can groove them down a little if you like. Like I say, some barks I leave on for a certain look, but I like on these kind just to take them back to the wood. It sounds a little better too. Okay, I've cut me out some different wind blocks here. Some you can put a chimney in them, or some you can just run straight. So I just roughed one out here. Still got to sand it and do whatever I want to do to it. So she's singing pretty good. So now it's just, we can go ahead and do the final sanding, sand the wind piece, and then we'll be able to go ahead and put the finish on it. And I can either do an oil finish, hand rub it, or you can spray them with lacquer. Okay, now the flute and the wind piece is painted. Tied it on with a little Latigo lace. Turned out pretty nice. I didn't burn this one because I'm going to dress it with some sinew and some leather, decorate it with some beads. I use an instrument grade lacquer on my flutes. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe to my channel if you would, and I'll try to do some different projects like this for you. This is a fun flute to make right here. Thank you, YouTubers. Here it is after I put some beads on it. Little sinew and leather.